Whenever it doesn't end, you know, da, ke, da, ke, da. Beautiful music from Bethel Revival, with beautiful, beautiful, beautiful music to start the day. God is alive all the time, and don't be discouraged at all. Today is the 28th of July, and it's a special day because it's World Hepatitis Day. And under the theme, One Life, One Liver, this year's day is highlighting the importance of the liver for a healthy life and the need to scale up viral hepatitis prevention, testing, and treatment to optimize liver health, to prevent liver disease, and to achieve the 2030 hepatitis elimination goals. What is the situation as far as hepatitis is concerned in Ghana? How are we marking the day? I have with me Dr. Achu Godwin Sake-Kwao. He is the program manager for the National Viral Hepatitis Control Program, and which is under the Public Health Division of the Ghana Health Service. And sitting next to him is Nicole Sena-Sowa, who's a pediatric nurse at MedTech Medical Center. They're going to help break down the topic of hepatitis. You're both welcome to the show.
Thank
you. Happy World Hepatitis Day to both of you.
Thank you.
I'm going to start with you, Dr. Sake-Kwao. When we hear of hepatitis, what exactly are we talking about?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your viewers. Hepatitis is basically, it means inflammation or swelling of the liver. This can happen in reaction to several injuries that the liver faces. In this particular case, we are interested in the injuries caused by the hepatitis viruses. Hepatitis viruses are there, A, B, C, D, and E. So any of them can attack the liver, and then the liver responds by getting inflamed or swollen. And this has consequences for the health of the individual, because the liver is the most important organ of the body. It's a huge factory in the body.
It's challenging the heart.
And it has it doesn't make noise. It works like quietly. Yes. So the liver, when it comes under attack, several of its functions can be compromised. And when these functions are compromised, it threatens life. In fact, that's why when we talk of viral hepatitis, we must always remember that we are talking about our liver. How do we keep it healthy and free from infection by viral hepatitis viruses?
Okay, what does the liver do for the body?
The liver, it's probably one of the most important organs in the body, involved with several functions as far as metabolism is concerned. It is the organ that makes sure that it mops up excess glucose in the system, so that after you've eaten there's a lot, it stores it so that it releases it when you need it. It is the organ that is involved in making sure that when you take fat, it gets digested. It stores vitamins A, D, E, and K, so that when you are not even taking it, the liver has a store that you could depend upon. And the liver is also involved in the manufacturing of proteins called albumin, which keep body fluids in their compartments. In other words, when this is compromised, you find that you start getting swollen. When red blood cells, those which carry oxygen, are broken down, there eventually you need to, the products are used to produce bilirubin, which is the liver, which is actually responsible for that. If the liver does not exercise this function, then you find that your eyes begin to become yellow, your lips, your palms become yellow, because there's accumulation of these things in the blood. And the liver also releases hormones that ensure that the body produces some cells called platelets. Platelets are very important in the clotting of blood. Yes, so when liver function is compromised, you get problems with clotting of blood.
So you get cut, and then it doesn't.
A small bleed a small cat continues to bleed for long.
No.
And when you take medications, it's the liver that makes sure that the waste products, which is toxic, is released quietly through the kidneys or whatever outlet, so that it does not accumulate in the body. And after eating, all the nutrients, it's the liver that receives them.
Okay.
To make sure that they are used appropriately in the body. So the liver is too critical. In fact, if you take a normal liver, it's about 10 times the size of a kidney. So it tells you how important it is. It has various parts, cells that do a lot of work for the body.
I think if the liver was a person, he would be clapping for you because you've made a case for the importance of the liver. Now, you mentioned that there are different types, before I come to Nicole, there are different types of hepatitis. Which one is the most common in Ghana?
Yes, in Ghana, the most common hepatitis virus is hepatitis B. It's very, very common. But we also have hepatitis C as well, which is less common than the B.
Okay. Why is it that B is most common in Ghana?
I think that the factors that lead to C generally, globally, is not as common as B is. Yes, but the preponderance of B in Ghana is also due to factors that continue to fuel its propagation.
Are we doing something wrong?
There are things that we have to do right.
Like?
Yes, we have to make sure that hepatitis B, which is in our system, is being transmitted from mother to child, infected mother to a child. We must stop the transmission. And we also must make sure that the activities that we are involved in that brings us into contact with body fluids that are infected, we scale them down. We take precautions to make sure that infected body fluids do not become a source of infection to us.
Are you talking about sex?
Sex is one of them.
Okay.
Sex is one of them. Right. So, in fact, even things like people who use drugs, some of them use infected needles because one needle is used in a group by several people. If it gets infected, they continue to use.
How about kissing?
Deep kissing, particularly where exchange of infected this material is covered, is actually.
But a light kiss, a peck.
A light. I mean, that's not.
That's
a
why
problem.
it's nice
that
and romantic.
should not be a problem.
All right. Before I bring Senna in, how do you diagnose somebody with hepatitis?
Yes, hepatitis, you cannot just tell by look at the person's face that you have viral hepatitis. You need testing.
Okay.
Testing is key to telling that this is you have viral hepatitis and this is the type that you have. So once the test shows that you have viral hepatitis, depending upon the type, then the consequences may be variable. Because if you have hepatitis A, for example, it's usually self-limiting. You recover from an acute illness, usually. Similar thing applies to E. But when you come to B and C, the fear is that this infection might not even show on you and may continue to be damaging the liver. In this case, you get chronic hepatitis, which over the years can lead to development of cirrhosis. In other words, the liver becomes scarred. Okay. The smooth liver becomes scarred and hard, and it's unable to perform its functions. Right. Continuing liver cancer can develop out of it. And many young, productive people, young people with 29, 30, 40, they fall for these things in the prime of their lives when they are least prepared for it. So it's good to know early. It's good to know. And testing is the only way to know. Thank you.
All right, I'll bring in Nicole now. So is it expensive to have somebody tested for hepatitis?
I believe it's not that expensive because I believe last year it was about 40 cedis or 20 cedis, but now it's been subsidized for everyone to afford it. So about 25 cedis. upwards.
So you're a nurse, a pediatric nurse at MedTech Medical Center. How do you go about caring for somebody with hepatitis?
Well, we're caring for someone who has hepatitis. First of all, you need to get a line of planned treatment, which is medication for the person to take home, and make sure they follow the routine intake of the medication, and also advise them that they should stay hydrated, taking a lot of water, and also have rest, have adequate rest, so that the body would help fight the infection, because when you stress yourself, you are working things up. And also having hepatitis is quite challenging for someone, so we provide we have clinical psychologists at facilities where they are able to counsel them and also tell them that they are not alone in times like this. And also, you need to educate them on how transmission is, as doctor said, from mother to child. Practically, during the course of pregnancy, a mother is supposed to be vaccinated. The schedule is being communicated via their healthcare provider as and when to have the vaccination. And also, when the child is exposed to something like this, you need to vaccinate them in the first. It's advisable that you vaccinate them in the first 12 hours. First 12 to 24 hours of after birth. And also, sometimes you miss the chances of being vaccinated due to the expensive, the cost of the vaccines. So if you miss a chance like this, there are ways that you go about where they have the weigh-in for the children. 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and 14 weeks. You can go for the pentavalent, and also chance might be that you might miss it, because some mothers are like, oh, I live far and there's no clinic around me, so traveling a distance to get my child vaccinated, they miss this chance. And so from 17 years going, we just advise that you need to follow up your care so that you monitor the health of your liver, have adequate rest, hydration, know that if you're having unsafe sex, you need to practice safe sex. You know that, and high-risk workers as well, getting into contact with sharp objects like surgical blades, needles, and people traveling.
That sounds like your job. So you're all very, very careful.
Yes, very, very careful in these sense. So if a patient has this, you need to just follow up the routine care, medications, and all that.
Okay. Dr. Sakakwa, well, what's the extent of the disease burden as far as hepatitis is concerned in Ghana?
Ghana is really described as hyperendemic for hepatitis B, because once your endemicity or the prevalence, the level of the disease is more than 8 people in every 100. The country is described as hyperendemic.
What's our rate? What's our rate?
Yes, our rate, the last model rate in 2019 was 9.1, and that was quite high. Even just 2 years ago, we did some in-hospital studies, and that also established that even among those who were tested in hospitals, the rate was about 11 point something, 11.4 going. So that was indication. It's an indication that the rates are high. Yeah, so even when you come to hepatitis C, we have anything around 3% as a proportion of which carry the virus circulating in them. So these are all problems that we have. When you come to A is associated with A and E, they are actually associated with sanitation. So many of us have been exposed as children, given the environment we live in, and many of us have immunity. Yeah. Hepatitis D is also there, but it's associated with B. In Ghana, we don't know yet how much hepatitis D is associated with D in this country. But the good thing is that once you do something like vaccination to prevent B, you will never get D. Okay. Because you need B before you can get D.
All right.
Yeah.
Nicole, you were saying that once it's established that the person has the disease, and there's psychological counseling.
Yes.
Why is that? Why is that so?
Okay, so hepatitis tends to be quite, I would say, 100 times deadly than even HIV. So people feel like, okay, when I get it, I'm going to die. Because as doctor said, it's quite, it hides itself. it hides itself. So maybe you might get A and you treat it self-limited, you get treated, but B shows itself. You are like, oh, okay, I felt ill one time, I'm better now. So there's no need for me to go to a clinic or a hospital. Then it comes again, then again and again. So when it's left untreated, that's when it gets severe as to getting the liver cirrhosis, liver damage and all that. So when the signs and symptoms show, like fever, body pains, when your yellowish discoloration of your eyes, like jaundice, and also dark urine, I believe that you should go. But when they go through the process like this and they leave it untreated, then it gets worse. And now that you have to go get medications and all that, liver transplants as well. That's quite expensive.
It's expensive. Doc, you want to add something to it?
Yes, I want to say that, in fact, if you are lucky to be ill, then somebody identifies that you have it. So it's good that when you fall ill like that, you should check to make sure that it is hepatitis, so that you are aware. Then you can know how to manage it yourself. Unfortunately, a significant proportion of people don't show anything. They are asymptomatic. So that is what is even more deceptive about it. You are walking around in this room. I'm sure, God forbid, if we go now, then if we test now, some faces may start going down because you never expected it.
So is it one of the routine things that happen when you go to a hospital where they check your weight and they check your height? Do you also test for hepatitis B or hepatitis as a standard thing?
It's not routinely checked, except among pregnant women in a number of locations. But routine checking is not done. You must. That's why we want people to take their liver health into their own hand. Request for hepatitis B and C test in a hospital, they will do it for you. Okay. And when they realize that people are coming asking for it, they will even prepare themselves more, get kits at a lower price, and then offer it. Okay. So we need to actually demand this test so that we know that as we walk along, we can walk confidently, knowing that our liver is quietly doing what it should be doing.
Where is the location of our liver? Where is it?
It's
the right side.
It's beneath the rib cage here on the right. Yes.
Okay.
It spans.
You can feel it?
Oh, I don't. In fact, it's behind the rib cage, so you feel the rib.
Okay.
But when it's diseased, at times you can even feel it here. You will feel something hard. By that time, it's
too late.
It's most likely.
Most likely too late. Yeah, so we shouldn't really be feeling, but it's there. It's operating silently.
It works silently. It's one of the organs I admire a lot.
Nico, anything you want to add? We're almost up. What do you want? Time is almost up. What do you want people to take away from what you said here, or is there anything you want to add as far as the taking care of people with hepatitis B or any of the hepatitis diseases is concerned?
What I would add to it is that you need to go to the hospital regularly to get yourself checked. If you're not vaccinated as well, you need to visit your local health facility to get vaccinated as well. And if you're positive for the virus, you need to take the appropriate or follow your healthcare provider's advice by limiting the alcohol intake. So, and anything else like your diet, hard drugs, where it may burden your liver, which may cause it to damage. So I believe that they should hydrate themselves, go through the routine checkups to get vaccinated, and also the transmission from baby to mother. The pregnant woman should also be vaccinated in the course of pregnancy. And in any case where it happens that we are exposed, we should get treated. Anything that you are feeling, I believe that you should just go to your healthcare facility and see someone, and they'll help you through it.
Thank you very much. Nicole Sana Soa is a pediatric nurse at MedTech Medical Center right here in Accra, so to be precise. I'm going to leave you with the last word, Dr. Achu Godwin Seka. You are the program manager for the National Viral Hepatitis Control Program. What's planned for today?
Yes. Today is usually a day that we launch into a lot of action to create awareness. Yes. In fact, that is actually why we are here, because we want people to know that you have only one life and one liver. Yes, hepatitis can devastate both. That too many lives are being lost due to hepatitis. So many people are walking around without knowing, undiagnosed, and hepatitis is preventable.
Okay.
With COVID now out of the way, this is the time to make sure we take advantage and make sure hepatitis is lifted on the agenda, and that so much is done about it. So on a day like this, we are working with our partners like the NGOs. We have a Hepatitis Foundation of Ghana, for instance, which is collaborating with Drive for Health, and they are going to organize free hepatitis B and C screening and education in Lamashegu in Tamale. We also have GASLID, Ghana Association for the Study of Liver and Digestive Diseases, with Ghana with Hepatitis Alliance of Ghana. They are also organizing screening in Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. It's starting this morning. In Accra, Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, which I believe we all know very well, very important institution, with Ochia Mikomi Foundation, and MDS Lancet are having an event at the Madina Market near the STC yard. They are also screening and treating people, and also doing vaccination of those who they think have to be. In Rich Hospital also, there's a free screening going on, and people can take advantage of it. In Ho, GASLID is organizing a public lecture. They have been engaged in some activities in the last few days in Trafalgar, Anfuega, and Ahwe, and then they are also having a public lecture today. The Ghana Health Service, in partnership with the WHO, we are organizing a public webinar this afternoon from 3 to 5 o'clock. Our issue is early detection and treatment of hepatitis C, why it matters to everyone. So we would like the public to participate so that you can get more information and enjoy your life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Dr. Atsu Godwin Saka Kwao, who is the program manager for the National Viral Hepatitis Control Program, Ghana Health Service. Nicole Senna Soa, pediatric nurse at MedTech Medical Center. Today's World Hepatitis Day. The theme is one life, one liver. Protect your liver, protect your life. I think it's as simple as that. Still to come, we have sports news at 7 o'clock. And we've got the social media corner with Jay and Val. We've got the ladies invading. It's a friendly invasion with Thelma for the headlines. We've got a conversation on bullying in school. And Reynolds, the gentleman, will take us home for the weekend with beautiful music. My name is Kafui Day, and I'll be back when I'll be back. All right? Sports news is next.